Police in Long Beach say they made a preemptive move to prevent another scene like this, where a beach gathering got out of control. You're watching NewsdayTV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Buffa. Long Beach authorities say they found out about another planned gathering that was being promoted on social media.
We've tracked down the promoters who were in charge of this event. We sent detectives to their house and let them know that they'd be prosecuted both civilly and criminally for any actions that weren't authorized from the city.
Now, this comes nearly a week after a crowd of more than 2,000 people gathered on the beach. One person was shot, 2 people were taken into custody. The city then announced the beaches would be closed from dusk till dawn. And Justin Timberlake's lawyer says he will be, quote, vigorously defending the pop star in court following the DWI arrest. Now, the attorney says his client will have a lot to say at the appropriate time. Timberlake is now on tour and is scheduled to perform in Chicago on Friday. Police said Timberlake's eyes were glassy and his speech was slurred when he was arrested in Sag Harbor yesterday. He told cops he had 1 martini. Timberlake pleaded not guilty and is due back in court on July 26th. And today, Long Islanders marked Juneteenth. Sherry Einhorn explains why the holiday is so important to so many.
Juneteenth is something special in my heart.
A celebration of freedom, life, and community here in Riverhead and across the island. Juneteenth, now a federal holiday, commemorates this date in 1865 when enslaved people in Texas were told they were free. That was more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation officially outlawed slavery in the southern states.
There's a lot of hard work that was done by our ancestors to bring all this about.
This event is sponsored by the church and by the Butterfly Effect Project. The organization's goal is to empower girls.
Juneteenth is important for every girl, and the reason why that's important is because we need to see ourselves. We need to understand where we were, who we were, and how we got here, and then what are we doing now.
Riverhead dad Isaac Sutton says he works hard to support his daughters.
Try to tell them, stay strong in life and be yourself. That's it.
There was food to eat, treats to cool off, hair braiding, games for the kids, bubbles, and tattoos. And in spite of the heat, people kept coming. It was interesting to hear from some of the younger folks here when I asked what Juneteenth means to them.
Juneteenth means to me a sense of hope. There is hope. Even if you can't see it today, there is hope.
In Riverhead, I'm Sherry Einhorn for NewsdayTV.
There's a new way to tour some of the top pizza spots in Brooklyn. The adventures of Scott Vogel continues.
In 2005, a little newspaper by the name of Newsday was the first to write about a little-known pizza tour called Slice of Brooklyn. And now, almost 20 years later,
Power Newsday, baby. They have come from Austin and Albuquerque, Nashville and Tampa, Canada and Ireland. Refugees from faraway lands where pizza is something you get from the frozen food section, from a guy named Caesar, a papa named John, somebody's hut. They want to learn what real pizza is. Their destination? Brooklyn. Their guide? This guy.
How you doing?
Tony Muia, a man hopelessly in love with his borough.
I started it as a sort of a love letter to my hometown.
Whose affection is deep and unconditional.
We're going to eat our way through and explore one of the most famous and infamous places in the world.
A man who wears that affection in multiple places on his arm.
Here's another tattoo of Brooklyn that I have.
And a man, above all, who knows pizza.
It's a perfect balance of the mozzarella and the sauce. And it just...
He takes them to Grimaldi's Pizzeria in Dumbo, patiently explains terms like Neapolitan and Margarita, shows them the 1,000-degree coal-fired oven, passionately describes a pie so delicious Michelle Obama allegedly told a waiter named Ralph in 2010 that it was better than the pizza in Chicago.
Look how gorgeous that looks.
For the visitors, the excitement of eating real, actual pizza can be almost overwhelming. But also thrilling. And Muia is far from done. Back on the bus, the group heads south to Gravesend and yet another pizza landmark. For the tourists, until today, Sicilians were just figures in gangster movies. Thanks to Muia, now they know that they also make pizza. And not just any pizza, but the greatest pizza of square shape this planet has ever seen.
You could see they put the mozzarella on first, like we were saying.
The group is once again gobsmacked, but also entranced. And only then do they realize, too late, that what they thought would be an innocent afternoon of pizza eating
Let's get a picture of you guys with that.
was actually an act of friendly persuasion.
We'll visit neighborhoods, landmarks, movie locations.
That they'd been lured into a love affair with a borough they hardly knew.
Saturday Night Fever, Goodfellas, The French Connection, that were all shot in Brooklyn.
By Brooklyn's most enthusiastic champion, its greatest ambassador. What's that you say? Brooklyn doesn't have an ambassador? Of course it doesn't. It doesn't need one. It has Tony Maria.
God bless. Thank you.
Now, to read more about the pizza tour, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Now let's take a look at your hot Long Island weather. It was a warm one today. It's going to be a warm one tomorrow, too. Taking a look, you can see tonight we are in the upper 60s, and tomorrow we are in the mid 80s. Taking a closer look at tomorrow, you can see we have partly cloudy skies overhead, but those temps do remain elevated. And take a look at the 7-day forecast. All fun does have to come to an end, as we do have rain in the forecast coming in at the end of the week.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries.
You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Ken Buford. Thank you so much for joining us.